Good morning, friends. It's about 4:30 on a Friday morning. I am a half an hour late because I was supposed to leave the house at 4. Whatever. Came over here to 7-Eleven, got myself a Red Bull. And I got to head down here to the market. I got about 1,200 baht that I'm going to give to the vendor down there so she can give me big bills. I gave her that stack of 20s right there. She gave me a 1,000 baht note. I had a bunch of coins. I think it's like 200 baht, but I'm not sure. She's gonna count it out real quick. It's just my gas money for my little road trip that I'm getting ready to take. She just told me, "Dung tong ban pai, bang pai,
เดินทางปลอดภัย
dung tong bot pai,
Yeah good ดีมาก
dung tong pai, bad pai,
เดิน
dung tong
ปลอด
bot
ภัย
pai,
Again
dung tong bad pai,
good
dung." It's hard, man. I'm trying to tell you. Basically telling me safe travels. See you.
โอเค
Bye.
เดินทางปลอดภัย
Let's ride. Oh, look at that. Whew. I got up early, man. I am a little bit closer to Bangkok, but I decided to stop here at this PTT station. They've got a Cafe Amazon here. Actually, a little weird because they've got one right here in this corner, and then there's another one over here in this corner. Never seen that before. I'm not really sure if they built one and then decided they wanted a bigger one, or they built one and said, oh, we want a newer one, or they put this one up as a temp while they were building that one and then they just left this one here, or if they decided that they wanted to put both of those there so that one day there would be a crazy YouTuber that was standing in the parking lot and just be doing this 5 times for no reason. I don't know though. I'm gonna walk in here and get myself some coffee, yeah. And then I'm gonna head on up the road a little bit further to another cafe. Let's ride. All right, friends. I came on up the road and I stopped at Phil's Coffee. I felt it only fitting that I stopped there. Had a pretty good iced caramel macchiato. Just sat there, chilled out for a minute. So now I came on over here to Bike Zone, trying to find a mount for my GoPro that I can use while I'm in this race. Try to give you guys a little bit better footage because I don't like holding the GoPro in my hand while I'm riding in a big pack like that. I can do it when we just do the normal rides from Cycle Hub, but I don't like doing it when I'm actually in a race. All right, that didn't take long. They didn't have what I wanted. They have another mount, but I already have an out front mount. I don't want to buy the whole entire thing. It was like 1,400 baht. I don't need all that. The piece that I need is probably 50 or 60 baht on Lazada. But but I just didn't have enough time. Well, I shouldn't say I didn't have enough time. I procrastinated too long and I didn't order it, so I don't have it. Whatever. Y'all just won't get in-race footage, I guess. Let's ride. I stopped at this brand new PTT station right here because I needed to fill up my bike with gasoline. Then I walked inside the Black Canyon. I had a salad and it had some fried fish with some toasted almonds on top. I asked them what kind of dressing. They said cream dressing. I said, okay. But then they gave me basically a little thing of mayonnaise. So I just ate the salad dry. It was fine. It had enough flavor in the fish. So that was okay. And then I had a lime frappe. It was more or less like a lime slushy. And I got an itty bitty little small pack of M&Ms for 12 baht and a Red Bull for 12 baht. Went in there, hit the restroom. Now I'm about to jump back on the motorbike. Jack told me about a temple that's up here. It's supposed to be one of the nicest ones in Kanchanaburi. Never been there before. I'm thinking about stopping there. That's what I have the GPS set to. Whether or not I go there or I go straight to the hotel, I honestly don't know. Good morning, friends. It's a bright sunny day out here. I'm just looking out over this field at the sunrise, waiting on my buddies to come out the hotel. Supposed to do a real short, easy bike ride today. Yesterday, I think I said something about going to a temple that Jack had told me about. It's way up on a hill, so they have stairs, You can climb all the way up them freaking steep stairs if you want to, but if you don't want to walk, they have a tram that they just opened not too long ago. The tram is only accessible during certain hours, but it's only 40 baht. They'll bring you up and they'll bring you back down. So I did that, walked around for a little bit, took some photos. Basically the same type of stuff you see at all the temples. Big, huge Buddha. You can buy the little gold foil and put that on the Buddha, make your offering. Other statues and artwork and carvings. And then I made my way back down and grabbed myself a little treat. Remember, friends, your temple visit is not complete till you get yourself a watermelon popsicle. I'm doing good, boy. From there, I was gonna head on to my hotel, but as I got up the road just a little bit from the temple, I passed this little cafe, and so I pulled a U-turn real fast, looked on the door, seen that they didn't close until about 6 o'clock. At the time, it was around 4:30. I thought that was a cool little cafe. They have a garden in the back, so there's plenty of places to get Instagram photos. I tried their signature drink, which was iced honey tea, and it was absolutely delicious. They actually give you a fresh piece of honeycomb inside the drink. The two young ladies that were there, they were really accommodating. They actually helped me get some of the footage that I needed, that I couldn't film myself. I needed someone else to hold the camera, so they were happy to help me out with that. I also decided to try their signature ice cream, because I'm a fat boy. It's just really, really good. And then a gentleman showed up and got to talking, and they were asking me, how long have you been here? And, you know, what are you doing around in Kanchanaburi, and where are you staying in? And so I was trying to tell them, you know, I went to the temple right up the road, and I'm here because I'm doing a bike ride with my friends in Sayok, just staying here in Kanchanaburi for one night. And the gentleman that was there, he said, yeah, we have a guest house up the road. So I ended up following him maybe like 100 meters back up the main road, and we turned left, wiggled back on a gravel road, and then they had some older guest houses back there. I honestly can't remember how many it was, 5 or 6 maybe. They looked like they were clean on the inside. They had air con and a bathroom, decent sized bed. So if you were just staying a few days, I don't think it would be too bad of a stay. They're also right up against the river, so you walk to the back of the property and bam, you're right there on River Kwai. If you wanted to do some fishing. I've been here to Kanchanaburi once before with Aaron when we did a motorbike trip, and if you go back in that video, I'm sitting right on the river at a restaurant eating some breakfast, and I said, you know, it's so quiet and peaceful here, I'd like to come and just spend a few days. So again, if you're looking for just some peace and quiet tranquility, I think this is a decent town slash city to come to. They do have a small little nightlife area with some bars and some restaurants and massage shops, and it's not that big. I didn't partake in any of that while I was here this time. I went to that area to find something to eat though. I just had some cashew nut chicken and some rice and a Coke, and then I went on back to the room. I was at a point where I was starting to get tired and aggravated, so. Sawadi Cup. Anyway, went to bed and then got up this morning, and now I'm here at Princess Resort. I think it's what this is called. Let me see. No, it's called Princess River Kwai. I guess I could have just showed you the sign. But again, I'm waiting for Jack and Thomas, Luke, Jackie, Renee, and Elena. I always call her Elena, but I think it's pronounced Elena. Just gonna go for a short ride to warm the legs up a little bit before our 103-kilometer crazy race tomorrow. I'll holla at y'all. All right, friends, we left the hotel, rode about 9 or 10 kilometers out to the skywalk. It's just a tall structure that they've put right by the river to give you a very nice viewpoint of the river and a little bit of Kanchanaburi. So we stayed there for a little bit, took a bunch of pictures. I honestly don't know where we were going, but I showed Jack a cafe on Facebook that Aaron and I had been to when we came on our motorbike trip out here in Kanchanaburi, and I wanted to go there again. Well, luckily, we rode right past it. I like this cafe because they had good coffee, and they also have frozen sugarcane juice. It's like a sugarcane slushy, essentially. Now, you can get the sugarcane juice in Pattaya. I've seen it in Bangkok and other places, but this is the only spot that I've seen where they make it frozen. And I'm telling you, it's absolutely delicious, very refreshing. It's super, super sweet, but it's really good. So we sat there for a little while, chit-chatted, talked about the race that we'll be doing tomorrow. Kabong kab.
Goodbye, see you.
We started to head back toward the hotel, but Thomas ended up with a flat tire. So we pulled over at this temple here and he'll change his flat, and then we'll head on back to the hotel. I'll get my motorbike, ride back to my hotel, take a shower, check out, and then we'll head to Sayok. And then once we get there, check in the hotels, and then we'll head out to the race venue like we always do, pick up our race pack. I have to pick up a couple water bottles because, like a goober, I left both of mine sitting in my freezer back in Pattaya. All right, friends, I'm gonna tell you right now, it is boiling out here. When we were on the bicycle earlier today, my Garmin was reading 101. It's too freaking hot, man. So, gonna have to make sure I stay hydrated tomorrow. Anyway, came on out here to the venue to pick up my race pack. It's a massive field right here. This is part of the university here in Kanchanaburi. Jack and Thomas had to go back the opposite direction about 20 kilometers after we left the cafe. Thomas was having some issues with his rear tire. They're going to check and see if they can find insulated bottles at the bicycle shop they're going to. If not, they're just going to grab 2 regular bottles for me. And I also asked them to see if they have 700 by 26 rear tire. I can't tell if it's a rock or if it's a piece of metal. It's kind of embedded in my rear tire, and that tire is kind of worn, so I figured, you know what, instead of trying to get that out of there, I'll just replace the tire if they can find one. That's something I'll have to check out before the race tomorrow. What's going on, man? You all right?
Yeah, mate.
Good to see you. What are you doing, 100?
No, 67.
67?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Rob.
Rob, where you from?
From Australia originally, but
Okay.
Living in Thailand now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You say hello?
Hi everyone. Gonna be a big race tomorrow.
It's gonna be a
We're
hot
all
one.
pumped.
A hot one.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's what, 38, 39.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but good to see you.
Yeah. Choke D.
Yeah.
Good luck.
See ya.
Let's see here. What was I saying? I don't know. Yeah. Coming here to get my packet. All right, y'all. Water River. We're gonna do battle tomorrow. Let's see what they got over here for me to spend my money on. They always have these booths when you go to these races. Most of the time, I think they're trying to get rid of their inventory, but then also for people like me who forget stuff, they've got it out here if you need it. Kunchu orai.
ชื่อเกดค่ะ
Gate just took all my money.
How much
I had to buy 2 water bottles, and I bought some gels and some salt tablets for
she said this
Nung Pan C-Sip.
long ไหมคะ
I had to have them bottles though, man. I'm telling you, if you have the regular bottles that aren't insulated in this heat, I can't do it. I can't drink that water when it's lukewarm like that. I feel like I've got cotton mouth right now. So as soon as I leave here, my hotel is not far. I'm gonna go check in, and then I'm gonna find a 7-Eleven, stock up on some water, get some electrolytes, and start hydrating tonight so I don't cramp up tomorrow. Oh, I'm tired. Had a little bit of a snafu checking in. The older gentleman out there, he didn't speak a lick of English. So he was pointing on his little paper, asking me, you know, what's your name or whatever. He wasn't saying it in English, but I could tell that's what he was asking me. So I'm telling him, Chu Feel. He's looking, he don't see it. So then I pull up the booking, show it to him on there. He still don't see it on his paper. He had 2 pieces of paper and didn't even realize it. He just flipped it and my name was on there. Decent little room. If you guys have been watching me long enough, you know, again, I don't really go for anything super fancy. I'm not no big baller like some of these people out here, man. I'm working within a budget. I need to go to 7-Eleven, and wouldn't you know it, where I'm staying at, there's no 7-Eleven around here, so I gotta drive down further toward the river. It's about 10 minutes away, I think. Then I'm gonna come back here and vibe out, man, for the rest of the day, because I've been ripping and running all day yesterday, ripping and running all day today, and I need some rest for this race tomorrow. What's going on, friends? It's a Monday morning out here in Pattaya. I just left the gym, came over here to Starbucks, got myself a Capulon. Yay. 160 baht, man, that's expensive. It's the reason why I don't really come to Starbucks that much anymore. Anyway, I was editing this video last night and I realized I had absolutely zero audio regarding the race. So I'll try to explain that to you the best I can. Keep in mind, this race happened the first part of March, and as I'm filming this, it's March 24th, so I'm gonna try to remember exactly how things went. I got to the venue pretty early. It was still dark out. I had to wait for Jack and Thomas to arrive because they had my bike on their truck. So once we got the bikes ready to go, we got to the start line, then they release everybody by groups. Now you have the open group, and that's guys that pretty much know that they have a really good chance at finishing fairly high in the overall order. They might even think they can win it. I never enter the open group because I know I'm not fast enough to do that. So I enter into my age group. Renee is in my age group. He rides with Cycle Hub, and I thought, all right, I'm gonna do my best to try to stay with Renee. Before the race started, they were giving out some rules in Thai, and then they also were saying them in English. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I really wasn't paying attention like I should have. But if I'm not mistaken, they were saying the 3.5 kilometer descent at the very beginning of the race was gonna be controlled by the marshal. You were not allowed to pass the marshal going down that hill. If you did, they would disqualify you. And I think, I don't know for sure, but I think they did that because they didn't want people bombing that mountain and possibly crashing and getting injured. So they controlled the descent, and then once everybody got to the bottom, we regrouped, and then they started us again. About 50 meters after that restart, I seen Renee pull over to the left, and I thought, his race is over. Before it even got started, his race over. I didn't know if he had a flat tire or what was going on. So anyway, I'm going along with the group I'm with, and within about 15 to 20 kilometers, I quickly realized there's no way I'm gonna be able to keep this pace for 103K. It's not gonna happen. So I backed out of it. In fact, I stopped once to get a little video of the landscape because it was so pretty. Get going again, I get caught by some guys. I'm riding with them for a little while. It kind of filters out to around 8 of us, and we're pretty much trying to work together. But there was a couple guys in that group. I don't know if they were trying to turn the tempo up or if they were just trying to drop everybody else in the group, but they kept going to the front. And so when guys do that, I stop working. If you are insisting on being on the front, you go right ahead. I'm not gonna fight you. I'm gonna jump forward in the race just a minute so I can put this B-roll up for y'all so you can see what I'm talking about. This is the 3.5 kilometer climb at the very end of the ride. Now, I'm gonna back up to during the race. There was one section that was about 17%. It was short, but it was enough to get your heart rate up. And then there was a section on the profile where I thought, all right, this is some rollers. I should be able to keep a pretty decent tempo. Well, actually riding that section of road was a lot harder than what it looked like on the profile. But I kept plugging along. I rode the majority of that by myself after the second checkpoint. And then as I got closer to the finish, I had to stop at a small little restaurant on the side of the road and get more water and ice in my water bottles because I just felt like I didn't have enough to make it the last 10 or 15K. Now we come to the last 3.5 kilometer climb, which you are looking at currently. The footage that you're looking at is me on my motorbike. I didn't have my GoPro with me when I was on my bicycle, but I'm telling you, after riding, 99 or 100 kilometers, it hurt. It really stung the legs, but I just plugged along. There were people that had to stop and walk, or they just had to stop and get off their bike and rest for a minute. But I was able to complete that 3.5 kilometer climb without getting off my bike. So once I got to the finish line, I just walked over to the booth and checked my time. All right, friends, another slow one for me today. Let's see. Men 40 to 49. There were 52 in the group. I finished 37th. Overall men, there were 184. I finished 116th. And In the 103 kilometer overall, there were 225 people. I finished 131st. After that, I found Jack and Elena. So we all sat there, chit-chatted, talked about the race. There were two distances, 103 and 67. Jack, she did the 103. And she said the marshal took them the wrong direction. So their race kind of got messed up. It was kind of a cluster, but whatever. We all sat there, chit-chatted for a little bit and waited for Renee to come to the finish line. I told y'all he had some problems at the beginning of the race. His chain had dropped, and then he realized one of the links was bent, so he couldn't get it back on. And then somebody had brought him back to the start point. He had to buy a new chain and tools, change everything, and then get back riding. And then about 80 kilometers into the race, he had a flat. So he had a bad day. But the crazy thing about it is all that happened to him and he still did not finish last in his age group or last overall. So that should tell you how strong he is. From there, I went back to the room, I took a shower, and I had it in my head that I was gonna go get something to eat, but I was tired, man. I passed out, slept for a little bit. Once I got up, I headed back down the mountain. There was a restaurant / cafe called Rainbow House. They had multiple signs that said that they were open, but as I got closer to the building and I looked inside, I realized that they had a bunch of construction going on, so they were not open at all. So I did a little bit more research on Google Maps and I found another spot that was actually right next door to my hotel. I don't even remember what I had to eat, but whatever it was, I'm showing it to you right now. And went back to the room, watched a movie on YouTube, ate my food, vibed out for a little bit, packed up my stuff, and then got me some rest because I had to head out the next morning. You'll find out a little bit more about that on the next video.